I love that. So Erica just
Mm.
shared life has been absolutely wild over the past couple of weeks. Obviously, last week was Thanksgiving, and then this week was Thanksgiving plus for me. I don't know what happened. But if you take a look at my refrigerator, I don't know what I've eaten this week. I don't know. I ate leftovers for like 4 days, and then I don't know what I've been eating. I've just been pulling stuff out the freezer. It don't make sense. It don't match. It doesn't look appealing. I can't post it on Instagram. I'm just throwing stuff together at this point. But Erica, what you said really resonated with me that like you've been maintaining versus regressing during a time period where things have just gone awry. And I think that's an underrated progress metric, y'all. That is underrated progress when your life can be going off the rails and you don't go backwards. That means that you've learned something about what to do when life goes crazy. So Erica, come back because I got a question.
Yes.
What makes this past week, as crazy as it's been, what makes this past week different?
Wait a minute. What are you asking about me?
What about your behavior? What have you done to make it so that you've been able to maintain rather than regress over the past couple of crazy weeks?
Oh, that's a great question. Um, it's kind of a doing what I can when I can. And like sticking my breakfast is pretty much the same every day. So I've been doing that. And just making like yesterday I had to eat away from home twice. Um, for lunch I'll be honest, I just kind of was like, whatever. But then it didn't really end up being whatever. But for dinner, I was just like, okay, well, we have to eat at Kava. I'm not gonna get the rice. I'm gonna get like one carb, which was some black lentils, which I know had protein, and like so. And I got the chicken instead of the lamb that looked really fatty. I just like made the best choice I could make, and you know, step been trying to be consistent with that, but haven't been perfectly consistent, but just doing as much as because I mean, I've really been physically down a little bit too, but um, it's a matter of doing what I can when I can. And also just not having that emotional connection, like, not, of course, we all gonna have an emotional connection to food, but it's not been any emotional eating going on where I'm just like,
Mm,
I'm gonna eat these chips as I'm mad, or whatever. It's been more like food is food and food is
mm,
fuel, but I don't feel
mm.
like controlled by it. You know what I mean? I feel like that's different than in the past where this no holidays is normally so emotional and it's just like, okay, it's 80 desserts over there. I gotta taste all of them, and it's just like, no, it's oh my gosh. And just I'm gonna be quiet, but Thanksgiving we went somewhere and it wasn't like the best meal I've ever had.
You
And
talking about the people that you're in the same room with.
I'm in my closet. Um, not in the same room with, but I'm just saying it's family. Um,
Uh-huh.
but I was like, yay, I don't even have to get in all this. Like, I just have some turkey. It was just, I don't know. I needed it to not have, there wasn't a whole lot of temptation. That's all I'm going to say to go crazy. So I'm rambling. That's it, Kyra.
Yeah. It's good when you're not faced with temptation. You don't have to make a tough decision. They made the decision for you. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Hello, Stacy. Erica Richardson, I think you were next.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know I've been bad at posting my wins, but one of the
Mhm.
things that I really noticed this week, um, was that like how easily I can cross my legs. Um, and probably like a year ago, it would have been a struggle. But just
Wow.
like I just be like sitting at my desk while I'm doing stuff, and I'm like, okay, I've had my legs like crossed for the last like 20, 30 minutes. And you know, that's you know, just noticing things like that, and just like, you know, Erica Jones, like you might have moments where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm hungry, or I have to eat out, and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna smash all of this stuff, and then but like you don't realize how you've programmed yourself to steer to the healthier stuff. And so you think about like, okay, well, where can I go to get more of, you know, protein and vegetables, you know, stuff that's not wrapped up in carbs and stuff like that. Or if I do have carbs, it's like, you know, simple potato, or, you know, something like that. Um, so um, I've been able to maintain not getting any alcoholic beverages. In fact, you know, when I go out, I'll even ask, you know, hey, can you make a mocktail? So it's kind of like a discovery journey too, to see
Mhm.
what alternatives are there. Because then once you know, have some extra tools to put in your toolbox, it becomes easier and easier to not do the unhealthy things. And I
Mhm.
also found like you know, a decent tasting mocktail pre-made drink from Giant. It's Mocktail Club, and they have some flavors that are pleasing to the palate. So, you know,
Mhm.
have those every now and then when you want to, you know, get the taste. And I think there's a little bit of, not a buzz, I would say, but just kind of like a refresh. I don't know, that comes with it. So, yeah, but just finding some different alternatives, because then it makes it easy to not to not spiral. And
Mhm.
because they don't have like the addictive properties in them, you can like easily like stop at one, you know, when you're, you know, drinking, or like if you're eating, you know, a dessert that has less sugar and things like that, it's easier to stop at the serving size
Mhm.
versus, you know, indulging, because there's like this little addictive
The
quality to it.
dopamine. Mhm. The dopamine. That's
I'm
great,
sorry.
Erica.
Did she say a brand name? Did Erica say a brand name?
Yeah, Mocktail Club. So
Okay.
they sell them as well, in Giant they sell them as single cans. I think they sell them in Sprouts too, in like a 4-pack.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen these. I've had these.
So the Manhattan Berry and the Havana Twist are good. I didn't like the Capri Spritz as much. But you know, you can try.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this. Yep, I've had these. Um, the one thing that really stood out to me, Erica, thank you so much for that moment, was I didn't realize how easily I was crossing my legs. We have to find those tiny, tiny things that are victories along the journey that don't seem like a huge deal, but absolutely are, right? Like my bra strap went from the fourth notch to the third notch. My watch strap, right? I got to add another dot to my watch strap, right? Or I'm actually able to tie my shoes, right? I can bend over and tie my own shoes. Being able to cross your legs, I had that moment. I forgot that I had that moment. So I appreciate you for reminding me of that victory, and I'm so glad that you had it. So glad. We have to remember that, these tiny, tiny things. Okay, friends. What else? Hey, Stacy. Hey, Lindsay. Just trying to see how you're doing. What's feeling good this week? Encouragement, support,
Hi.
celebrations. Hi.
Um, sorry. I feel like I'm moving, so it's okay. Hi. Um,
Hey.
I really love hearing everybody's, you know, updates, because I was gonna say I felt like a monster at Thanksgiving. Like I had that moment where I saw all the stuff we were making and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna go to town and I won't have to tell coach. Um, but then, you know, like there's something about yeah, being accountable to myself too, right? Like, and I will eventually tell coach, right? I just did. But when it came down to it, I realized like, yeah, that's sort of like an old mentality or like an old habit of thinking I had to like I have to like binge and purge or like sneak around and like do this kind of eating that I think I can get away with. Like it's a little bit, I feel like we've talked about this. Like I find myself sometimes in like this toddler mentality where I'm like
Yeah.
sneaking food or like, like it's a little bit weird. But when it came down to it and actually, like eating around other people and um having good conversation and just actually enjoying the time, I realized like, okay, I don't need to like gorge on everything, right? Like the thing that feels good is knowing my stomach's not going to hurt in 2 hours
Mhm.
or whatever it was. And the other thing that I noticed about Thanksgiving specifically was I celebrated with close friends that like they eat very little processed food, which is like really I respect it so much. And it was a little bit new to me because I'm like, man, you don't even have like Ritz crackers in the cabinet. Like, um, so I don't actually know what my point is, but it was just interesting to see how differently that felt. I know that's something that coach has been teaching me for a while now that like real food makes a difference. And I definitely didn't feel the need to like cheat or sneak junk because I was satisfied because I had like a homemade turkey and homemade stuffing and like a nice pie, stuff like that. So that was really interesting for me because I live alone and I have tons of snack stuff. I have, I'm a teacher, so I'm always eating like an old ass granola bar. Like it's just again, I'm not
Mhm.
trying to judge myself because I think that's just survival right now, but it was really interesting to see how differently it felt to have lots of real foods and like take the time to make good stuff instead of all the quick fixes that I tend to rely on. So I think that'll be a lesson I'm learning for a bit here as I kind of try to incorporate it more. So, yeah.
Good. Thank you, Lindsay. Yep. I mean, simply transitioning to a more real food, whole food based diet will support everything that we're trying to do. Right. Just trying to clean up the nutritional environment. So it's good that you got into the environment where that's true. So now you can kind of put some of that into play. But I look forward to connecting. We'll talk in a couple of hours and look forward to kind of putting some of this to work. I'm glad you had that experience. Stacy, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
I think my biggest win, which I also didn't put into the group thing, but is that this time of year is really rough for me, sad and personal loss and things like that. And I feel like I have bounced back from it quicker than I ever have before, and gave myself grace in the process. And I kind of realize now that this is not something that is going to be like, oh, you've gotten yourself out of it, so now you're done forever. Like I'm going to always have this struggle, and that's okay. And I just have to ebb and flow with it. And I did that really gracefully this time, and I'm really proud of myself for that. And coach, you're always asking me, what are you proud of? Like you're forcing me to say those things out loud. So here I am saying it out loud. And then I had to take a few days because of my cycle. And today I'm ready to bounce back and get back into movement. And I missed it. And that feels good to have missed it and being excited about getting a workout in today and not beating myself up because I didn't, because I just rested because that's what I needed. And I've been on this journey, I feel like for what feels like forever, but it's only been about a year. And this is the first time that I can say that that has happened. Like, I went through normal aspects of life and I got through them mentally in a way that I never have before. And that's huge because for me, this is a mental game and I have to be able to figure out how to like move through that kind of stuff and be easy on myself. And for one time, I figured it out and that feels really good. So it's been good. And Thanksgiving was great. We just celebrate my immediate family, my dad, my brother. We cooked just a turkey breast this year because we realized we don't need all of that turkey. It's just too much food. And we did a leg of lamb and I like stuffing, but other than that, like it's just a kind of like a regular meal. So it was thankfully for me easy peasy to get through without feeling like I needed to, go overboard. I'm a teacher too, so it's Friday treats at school. That's more of a problem getting through without like, oh, I can eat all the things. But yesterday was treat day and I did fine and it felt really good because like a couple of you have mentioned, it's more important to feel good in my body after it was over and stopping when I felt like, wait, if you have any more, you're going to feel icky and you don't like that feeling. So just stop. And it felt kind of easy to do that yesterday too, which was another win.
Awesome. Proud of you, Stacy. Proud of everyone who's having these moments where you're looking at yourself today and comparing yourself to this time last year and thinking, different. Something's changed. And all of this work that you've been doing since the beginning of your journey, it translates across everything. Obviously, we are here to improve our fitness, to get healthy, to transform our bodies, to get strong, to age well. We're here for all of those reasons. But something else is happening in the background that's making us just overall better people. And I'm glad to hear that you had a good bounce back, faster bounce back. That matters so much. Good. Beautiful. Okay. Anything else from anyone else? Anything resonating, standing out? Anything we want to discuss before we go?
I think for me, there's two things, because generally I tend to be the one to spearhead when it comes with Thanksgiving, with the planning of the plate and the cooking and everything. And I have to honestly say this year, if Thanksgiving was like a light, the light was dimmer this year. And it wasn't because I made a, huge change in what I and what the family was going to eat. But what changed was my mindset, and consciously, I can make all this food, but I don't have to eat it. And having more of a sharing mentality, what I have is for sharing helps me not pile on the plate. And you can still see plate once you put the food on it. That was awesome. And now that we're out of Thanksgiving, maintaining. I went into it nervous because when I get around the holidays, I get real nervous. And so, like the week before, I was at my number, and then the next week, I maintained. Before, I would get down about it, but I said maintaining, that's the win. We didn't gain anything. We are holding steady. So it's like super exciting to the point where I was talking with Coach, ladies, I had to buy a new bra because she finally gave up the ghost and I got no more notches. I am so like, wow. Still expensive, but that's progress. So I forgot how to share that. Bestie and I were on the phone last night and I was like, I have to do it. I can't hold out anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, we're in the right direction.
It's a good feeling. Good. Congratulations. And congratulations to all of us. There's so much to celebrate, so much to reflect on from this past year, feel grateful for, and feel excited about. And as we're moving into January, which I personally can't believe I'm still in September, but here we are. Because we move into January, it's certainly an opportunity to think about our goals coming up for the new year, what we want to achieve, what it's going to take to get there. And I'll say this January through March window is truly the best time, maybe January through April. It's truly the best time to be pursuing a goal. Because think about it, there's no holiday. There's not a lot of travel. There's not a lot of interruption. Most people's work is going to get a little bit more stable. Audit season is over. Open enrollment is over, right? So thinking in that manner, if I'll have 8 to 12 weeks of pretty much uninterrupted time to focus on something, what's that something that I want to focus on for the first 8 to 12 weeks of the year, considering that I won't get another 8 to 12 weeks of uninterrupted time until next January. After April, it is, my goodness, my birthday, graduation, summer travel, more holidays, back to school. Oh my God, back to school. Then there's more fall break, more holiday, and then we get another January. So think about what you want and how we can make that happen. And as we have our conversations over the next couple of weeks, let's put some stuff into play. Let's make a game plan for how we can make that happen. Okay. We'll connect on, I believe I have it as the 21st. I may need to change the time, so I will just confirm with all of you about that. We'll connect on the 21st, and then we'll be in January, which is crazy. So if you need me in the interim, you know where to find me, but I'll be talking to you all over the next week or so. I appreciate you for sharing. I'm glad we got to check in a little bit today, and y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'll see you soon.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
All right, see ya.
Coach, should I stay on for our